tensions in the Caribbean are heating up again. Venezuela has made a bold move that has shaken the region. For the first time, the Venezuelan Air Force has publicly deployed Sukhoi Su-30MK2 fighter jets armed with Kh-31 supersonic missiles in a massive military exercise called Sovereign Caribbean 200. This move is not just a show of force. It's a strong message aimed directly at the United States fleet operating in the Southern Caribbean. With speeds reaching Mach 3 and high destructive power, the Kh-31 missiles are said to be capable of penetrating the defenses of advanced U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. But what's really going on behind this massive exercise? While the military strength between the United States and Venezuela is like a stark contrast, the bravery of the Venezuelan military is commendable. Following the F-16 Fighting Falcon fighter jet's flyby near the destroyer USS Jason Dunham, there's another Venezuelan fighter jet display, this time involving the most advanced fighter in the Venezuelan Air Force's arsenal, the Sukhoi Su-30MK2. Specifically, on September 18, 2025, Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino confirmed the deployment of Su-30MK2 fighter jets armed with Kh-31 anti-ship missiles in the Sovereign Caribbean. 200-inch exercises on La Orchila Island. The Russian-made jets are touted as Venezuela's strongest strike capability, aimed at countering the U.S. Navy in the Southern Caribbean. Venezuelan Su-30MK2s, armed with Kh-31 anti-ship missiles, could provide Caracas with a credible short-range threat that could complicate U.S. Navy operations in the near seas, but would not necessarily guarantee success against modern U.S. surface and air assets. The exercises were conducted in direct response to the buildup of U.S. naval forces in the Southern Caribbean, which Washington has described as part of its counter-narcotics campaign. The United States deployed 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the cruiser USS Lake Erie, the amphibious assault ship USS Iwo Jima, and a nuclear-powered submarine, in addition to F-35 fighter jets and MQ-9 drones based in Puerto Rico. While U.S. officials described the actions as counter-narcotics efforts, Caracas insisted they were intended to pressure Venezuela and portrayed the exercises as a sovereign response. Venezuelan media emphasized that the show of force was not limited to troop deployments, but was also designed to demonstrate unified command of naval and air assets in a contested environment. The Su-30MK2 incorporates modifications aimed at maritime strikes, with updated avionics and weapons control systems that allow for the use of anti-ship missiles such as the Kh-31A. Production of the Su-30MK2 is handled at the Komsomolsk-on-Amur aircraft plant, Kh-APO, where the aircraft are produced for several export customers, including Venezuela, Vietnam, and Indonesia. The Su-30MK2 is powered by 2 Saturn AL-31F afterburning turbofan engines, which give the aircraft a maximum speed of approximately Mach 2 at altitude and a service ceiling of 17,300 meters. Its operational combat radius is approximately 3,000 kilometers without refueling, and this can be extended through an aerial refueling system integrated into the platform. The Su-30MK2's airframe allows for a maximum takeoff weight of approximately 34,500 kilograms, with 12 hardpoints capable of carrying up to 8,000 kilograms of ordnance. Venezuelan Kh-31. The Kh-31, seen under the wing of a Venezuelan Su-30MK2 fighter jet during an exercise, was developed in the Soviet Union in the late 1970s as part of an effort to create a new family of supersonic air-to-surface missiles capable of countering maritime and air defense threats. The Kh-31, known to NATO as the AS-17 Krypton, was one of the first air-launched missiles to use a ramjet propulsion system, combining a solid rocket booster for initial acceleration with a kerosene-fueled ramjet sustainer to reach and maintain speeds above Mach 3. The missile entered service in the late 1980s in two main forms: the Kh-31A, designed for anti-ship roles, and the Kh-31P, intended for anti-radiation missions against radars and surface-to-air missile sites. Over time, the series was expanded with variants such as the Kh-31PD, which offered longer range and a more advanced seeker to increase effectiveness against modern defenses. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Kh-31 was offered for export and integration into platforms, including the Indian Air Force's Su-30MKI and the Algerian Air Force's Su-30MKA. The Kh-31's propulsion system uses solid rocket boosters for initial acceleration, which are then jettisoned, and a kerosene-fueled ramjet sustainer that maintains a speed of 3,300 to 4,300 kilometers per hour. The Kh-31A anti-ship version has an effective range of 70 to 110 kilometers and carries a high explosive warhead weighing approximately 94 to 100 kilograms, while the Kh-31P and Kh-31PD anti-radiation variants extend the range to 250 kilometers with an 87-kilogram warhead. These missiles were delivered to Venezuela from Russia between 2007 and 2008, complementing the rollout of the Su-30MK2. Open-source analysis confirms that both anti-ship and anti-radar variants are present in the Venezuelan inventory, providing a long-range strike capability that could threaten surface warships or disable radar networks. The exposure of these capabilities makes the Su-30MK2 and Kh-31's role in Venezuela's defense doctrine seem more than mere propaganda tools. They are a tangible component of a local-scale A2/AD, anti-access/area denial, posture designed to raise the operating costs of foreign surface vessels in near-coastal and archipelagic waters. However, it's important to note that the presence of missiles like the Kh-31 and their delivery platforms is no automatic guarantee of success in a conflict against a major maritime power like the U.S. Navy. The effectiveness of these weapons will depend heavily on a number of factors: logistical readiness, the quality of intelligence and targeting, the integration of command-control systems, weather, and the adversary's ability to employ electronic countermeasures, ship hardpoint protection, and real-time air superiority capabilities. Tactically, the Kh-31A poses a serious threat to surface vessels operating near coastlines or in narrow waters. Its supersonic speed complicates traditional interception efforts. However, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and modern U.S. surface ships are equipped with a multi-layered defense system, a combination of high-frequency radar, medium-range missiles, and CIWS close-in weapon system designed to detect and destroy such threats. Furthermore, U.S. anti-radar, SEAD/DEAD capabilities, including electronic suppression aircraft, interceptors, and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) platforms, can reduce the effectiveness of Kh-31P variants that target enemy radars. Geopolitically, the Sovereign Caribbean 200 exercise is expected to trigger diplomatic reactions from Washington and neighboring countries. Caracas is likely to use the exercise to assert national sovereignty and demonstrate to its domestic public that the government is capable of facing external pressure. Meanwhile, the U.S. is likely to reaffirm its position that maritime operations are part of counter-narcotics trafficking and regional security efforts, while warning against actions that could escalate military tensions in a sensitive region. At the regional level, Caribbean and Latin American island states may react in varying ways. Some may express concern over military escalation in regional waters. Others may choose neutrality or distance themselves to maintain economic and security ties with both parties. Large-scale military activity in narrow waters often puts pressure on civilian shipping lanes, fishing industries, and humanitarian operations if the situation worsens, so non-military aspects also deserve attention.